Okay, guys. So, this is a game I played against a 1,358 rated player. Um, I'm way above this player, and he made a lot of basic mistakes. A lot of basic mistakes. Well, okay. So let's dive right into the game and analyze the mistakes and uh, know the errors and where he lost the game. So he started with e4, trying to take the center, which is good, putting the pawn in center because he's starting with white and already on move one is challenging for the center, which is good. So I responded with g6 because I'm planning to fake into my dark square bishop and take control of the dark square diagonal with my bishop. So um, he responds with knight to c3, which is also a good opening. Trying to close the diagonal. I continued with my normal development because the thing is, if you are going to make a committal move like the g6, pushing the pawn up, opening the diagonal, and your rook is exposed, it's always okay to follow through with the normal developing sequence, which is fake entering your bishop, right? Which is what I did. So I played bishop to g7. Uh, my opponent brought out the queen. I totally understand his rationale there because he's eyeing the f7 pawn, right? And I had to play a prophylactic move here because I know his bishop is definitely going to want to bring out his bishop to that diagonal so he can double up on the attack, which is the queen and the bishop on the attack. So I stopped it already. I just stopped it on my next move, which is playing my pawn up, right? e6. Uh, my opponent plays. This is just a wrong move because I always tell lower rated players the knight is not supposed to go to the edge of the board. It's very wrong if you are going to develop the knight to the edge of the board. Okay, so in some variations, right, it's okay to take the knight to the edge of the board, but not with the queen there. Not not with the queen where the queen is. Not with the queen at f3, because that most of the variation has to do with the pawn being on f3 and not the queen. Do you get? So if it was a pawn, if the pawn was at the point, if the pawn is currently at the square where the white queen is, this move will kind of make sense because I'll know that your next move is taking the knight back to near the king, right? Which is f2. So you take you take the knight to f2 square. That kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense. But right now, I do not really know where this knight is going to go to because the knight looks trapped already, and that's like you wasting a move. So this was his mistake. It was a very wrong move for him to make. Okay, so I continued with my normal development because I wanted to castle, and I had to take my knight out of the way. So I played knight to e7. Yeah, my opponent uh, played his plan all along, which was why he brought out the queen. So he played bishop to c4, but boys, the move is kind of late, and I already blocked it. I don't know why he went ahead with the move, but I understand. I believe he's trying to clear the space for him to castle also. Well, so I just went on with my normal plan, which was to castle, take my king to safety, then see what he's going to play. He took the knight down. I don't know why he did this, but there's a lot of protection around my king. But it's okay. He's trying to attack, which is good. But I already have a very good defensive structure. So I continue playing with d5, challenging for the center, taking a pawn there. because his bishop is there, is a very committal move, so he has to make a move. So I'm asking the question: what are you going to do with your bishop? Are you going to take a pawn? Are you going to take a pawn down, or is the bishop going to move away? Right. So he made a pawn move. So the pawn captured d5. I captured with the knight because I wanted to clear up. I wanted to clear up space. I wanted to clear up the space there because I saw that his knight, is currently undefended, right? So I went with my own knight to clear up to give the queen extra vision to the white knight. So the move continues. He protected his knight, which was a good move. I took his own knight because seeing that my bishop is there, he has to make a pawn move because he can't take with the queen because my bishop covers that square, or my bishop has sight on that square. So he took with the pawn. I just made a pawn move, trying to prepare other moves, right? It came down. This move doesn't really do anything aside attacking the pawn or disturbing the pawn. Maybe he's trying to come at my pawn structure, but I know that if he commits and take my pawn, I'm going to take with my f pawn so I can open the line of my rook is going to see his queen directly. So if he was supposed to make this move, he was supposed to make a prophylactic move, which was moving the queen away from the same line with my rook, but he didn't do that. So I continued my development because I know there's a defensive tactics there for my pawn. He went ahead. I took with the pawn, like I said. So my rook now sees his queen. He has to move away. So he did that. I followed the queen and put my rook on the same line with the queen. So, and because the queen is the only one covering the king, if this pawn goes away, I'm going to win that queen. He took down with his knight to a7. Rook to a7, but there's not much of a threat there because of my bishop. So my bishop protects the king very well. So I didn't see it as a threat. So I played on. Right, sorry. So my queen came up. He attacked my queen with his knight. I went up. He went back with his rook. I had to start moving forward, and at this point, my pieces were beginning to gain harmony. Right? My pieces were beginning to gain harmony, and this was a mistake. Bringing his bishop down to e3 was a big mistake because leaving the pawn undefended, which is a normal mistake lower rated players make. So I took with my queen. A castle's giving me a free bishop also. I took the bishop, and from this point it's just game over because it's down too much material. There was no way I was not going to win this game. I attacked the bishop, asking him where he's going to take the bishop to. Okay, so the bishop right now is attacking nothing on that diagonal, so I just kept on playing. I don't know why he did this rook move. I don't know what this rook move was for. That's just a waste of a move because the rook is not attacking anything. But maybe he had a plan. I don't know, but I did not see a reason for that move. I went up. He doubled up his rook on that diagonal, which is good, but giving me a free pawn, and I took the free pawn, bishop to c3. So he was looking for a bishop exchange, which I didn't want. But then I had to take it because there's no threat. There's no threat here at all. So he checked. I moved up. He did a double check. I moved up again, and here it's just game over because there are no more checks, and I must exchange the rooks. So I had to take with my knight so that it can simultaneously protect the king and the pawn. and that was just it. So my opponent resigned. These are basic mistakes. He made basic mistakes that lower rated players make. So if you watch this video, study the mistakes he made, study how I punished it, and just try to understand the concept of developing your piece first, trying to gain peace harmony, then you can attack. That's very important. Gain peace harmony first. Make sure your rooks see each other. You clear the ranks for them. You castle your king. These are basic principles for chess that will help you grow. Alright guys, we'll see you in the next video. Please subscribe to my channel. Let's see this channel grow and you'll see more of this content. Alright.